Hi, and welcome to Morning Coffee with Pizzan Academy. I'm Deanna, and today I want to talk to you about two things I'm really passionate about: archaeology and books. Or book archaeology. Yes, that's right. We can do archaeological research from old books, which is amazing. The technology that we have today is just absolutely incredible. As you know from these videos, books are something I am very passionate about, but I also used to be an archaeologist. I dug in California and in Egypt, and for many years I did archaeological research. My specialty was textiles, and in Egypt I actually worked on mummies and did textile analysis for a dig that was out of UC Berkeley. Fast forward a little while, and there's been some amazing new research that's been done. Now, this research on book archaeology is fascinating. What they're doing is that they're taking these old books made of parchment, which is actually animal skin, and they're able to take DNA and protein samples in order to help reconstruct the past. This is absolutely amazing. Now, when I first heard of this week, I was a little like, oh my gosh, don't ruin the books, don't destroy the books. But because of technology, archaeological research is just so much easier to use very small samples. Now, you can imagine these archaeologists, these researchers, that are wanting to extract ancient DNA or protein samples, or even some of the beeswax that are used in these book constructions, particularly from the Middle Ages, the Renaissance, and even into the 1700s. What they're trying to do is understand the animals and the environment, and they're maybe even be able to get some human DNA from fingerprints and skin and things like that get left behind on books. But the people that are owning the books, they don't want to have a little corner of this parchment torn to create a sample. So the researchers followed conservators around for a while and trying to figure out how they can get the data they are interested in without hurting the books at all. And what they found is that the researchers, in part of the cleaning process for caring for these books, would use erasers, these Staedtler erasers. And what the researchers started doing was collecting the little eraser bits, and they found that they can get the samples they need from these little bits of eraser and then run the samples. So it's actually helping the book because this is what's left over from the conservators. And what they're able to find is the types of animals that were used. Now, we would imagine these would mostly be cows and sheep that they would be using to create the parchment from. Now, there's some ultrafine parchment that historically it's believed that these were taken from smaller animals like rodents, like squirrels. But because of this research, we now know that this is a product of really good parchment makers. They were able to get the cow and the sheep hides so thin that they can make this ultrafine parchment from those animals. So we've learned quite a bit in this historic bookmaking process. Another thing, and particularly from the beeswax that was used in the creation of books, we can reconstruct plants. We can tell what time of year, perhaps, the plants were in season, or from year to year, what plants were available. Another thing is that we can see if they used any imported goods, particularly with the plants, because plants are very regional and they only grow in certain areas. And obviously, this is before the modern world where you can get exotic plants at your local nursery. But back then, they would have had to import. And so in some of these European older books, we're finding some North African plants that were used in the creation of them. So this is a really fascinating topic, and it's just absolutely amazing that from these old books, we can even help recreate the past. Another thing that the researchers have found is that you would think that the cows that they would use would be older cows, males, right? Because the females are going to be the milk producers. But in some of the manuscripts, they've actually been able to determine that they use young female calves, which is really interesting because you would think you wouldn't want to destroy those animals because they're young, they're female, they can produce more cows, they can can produce milk, but they did. And this is really fascinating. So it can also inform us a little bit about the economic history of these time periods. So it's just incredible what we have with this knowledge. And I'll put a link to the article that I read in the description below. If you're enjoying our videos, please like, share with your friends. You can subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and we also have links to our other social media in the description below. I'm off to find my own historical research today. I hope you have a great day.